I'll call the meeting to order. Let's take a moment and each in our own way ask for some guidance in the decisions that we'll be making tonight on behalf of the county. Okay. Roll call.
Ken Talbot,
Here.
Alan Easley,
Here.
Ann Deering,
Here.
Helen Glass,
Here.
Jay Craddock,
Here.
Ronald Merricks,
Here.
Carol Yeaman,
Here.
all present.
Okay, thank you. In your packet, you have the minutes. Oh, I'm sorry. In your packet, you have the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda? If not, to a motion to be approved as written.
So moved. Second.
Okay. All in favor signify by raising your hand. Thank you. You do have the minutes of the January 14th meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, do I hear a motion to be approved as written?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor of approving the minutes of January 14th, please indicate by raising your hand. Thank you very much. Old business.
I don't have any, Mr. Chairman.
All right, everyone received the letters that you wrote to,
Yes,
any feedback, any response yet?
I did get a map from Pine Lane. I'm matching it up to our GIS if you'd like to see it. It's just a handwritten map, but anyway. And JD come by and we
Okay.
talked for a while, so.
All right. Any other old business, anybody? Not? New business.
We have one case for next month. It's for placement of a camper. So one camper campground.
Okay.
It's just one unit. Is that? Did I read
Yes,
that?
it's used part-time. They use it for his mother-in-law when she visits, and then sometimes she's with her son and her daughter, so it's temporary. But because it's a camper, campers are only allowed in campgrounds unless you apply for a special use permit. So he's getting all of his information through the health department, so he's gonna have to put in well and septic, everything just like a campground. But it will just be the one unit.
Okay. Any other new business? All right, Chairman's report. As I told you, this will be my last year. The Danville paper was very generous with an article. So it's published now. I'm leaving, so.
It's written in typo.
All right, with that said, we'll move on to the public hearing. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to Article 5, Division 7 of the Pittsylvania County Zoning Ordinance, we, the Board of Zoning Appeals, have been empowered to hear and decide specific applications and appeals in support of said ordinance. In accomplishing this important task, we're charged with promoting the health, safety, and general welfare of the citizens of Pittsylvania County. We must ensure that all our decisions and recommendations be directed to these goals, that each be consistent with the environment, the comprehensive plan, and in the best interests of Pittsylvania County, its citizens, and its posterity. Anyone here to speak to the board other than the applicant regarding zoning cases will be limited to 3 minutes. So, the public hearing in case S-20-002 is now open. The time is 7:04. Report.
Case S-20-002, Barbara Warren has petitioned for a special use permit on 1.03 acres located on Ringo Depot Road in the Dan River Election District to allow placement of a single-wide mobile home to be used for her residence. The Planning Commission recommended by unanimous vote with opposition that the petitioner's request be granted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, no one is here to represent the petition.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In that case, we will allow the application to speak for itself. So is there anyone in the public that would like to address the board regarding this application? Did anyone sign up? No?
No.
Okay, if there's no one here to address us regarding the application, then we'll close the public hearing. The time is 7:05. Okay, for the benefit of Ms. Deering, Ann, I'll just review quickly. This is a application for a special use permit.
Yeah.
As you read, a special use permit is not allowed by right, but certain uses are allowed if after a public hearing it's determined that there are no adverse effects upon adjoining property, adverse effects that cannot be limited through conditions, then we're obligated to issue the permit. If there are conditions that cannot be mitigated, then we're obligated not to issue the permit. So it's not, we get to evaluate the magnitude of the adverse effects, but as far as whether it's right or wrong, good or bad, that decision is not part of our consideration.
Okay.
So with that said, are there any adverse effects by this use that would rise to the level that we would need to consider conditions to mitigate them?
I don't think so. I know where if you all looked at the lot, it's in an area of stick-built homes, and double wides, not single wides. But if you go a mile down the road, there are two mobile home courts, one on each side of the road. My question which I can't ask, but it's a 2000 mobile home, single wide, which makes it about 20 years old, and you cannot place one that's older than a, what?
76.
76, so it's only 4 years newer, and I don't think it's gonna affect my vote or anything else, but I hate to, without knowing what it looks like, if somebody going in with puts a ragged mobile home in this community, that's a problem. But we don't know that. We don't know what it is.
Right. And we're deprived of the ability to interrogate the
Right,
applicant.
so that being said, that's the only thing I would say, because honestly, it's not gonna hurt the area, I don't think.
Of course, the reason 1976 is the cutoff year. Prior to 1976, mobile homes were not built to a national standard. In 76, the building codes were changed, and now they require this National Mobile Home Manufacturers Association emblem that says the wiring and the plumbing and the insulation and everything meets.
Yeah.
And I don't know that, I guess those requirements, like all the other regulations, have crept up over the years, but a year 2000 model does meet the requirements of the ordinance. So, any other comments?
Well,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I went and looked at it too, and I kind of agree with Don. I've got a question for Karen though, is, and it relates to what Don's saying, it's, almost
Wrong.
20 years.
Wrong.
Wrong. I got it right.
Whoever you are, Mr. Marks.
One of the Merrick twins. But anyway, all over the county, there's abandoned mobile homes that are just sitting empty, and nobody ever does anything about getting rid of them. And they are a real eyesore,
I know exactly what you mean. A lot of those, though, are older than 76,
Yeah.
and they can't move them. I mean, they can't set them up anywhere else.
You gotta take them apart.
Yeah.
And you see them doing that. I don't know of any initiative by the county to,
We act on complaints because Pittsylvania County is such a large county and we're down to minimal staff. So if somebody complains about them, then yeah, we get on them about dangerous structure. They can board them up. Some of them, we can't really make them move them unless they're just really in bad shape.
it would become an attractive nuisance to kids and teenagers.
Yeah.
And as Ronald said, the immediate area is stick-built homes, and when I went out there, I did probably the same thing Ronald did. I rode about a mile in every direction, and there are probably 50% mobile homes, double-wide mobile homes as related to stick-built. And some of the stick-built homes are not in the best shape, some are in some very nice shape, so
Yes,
it's,
There's some pretty bad stick-built homes too, yeah.
it is, it's, we used to call them Jim Walter homes, but I guess Jim Walter's out of business.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, hopefully it's amazing that 2000 is 20 years old. But,
What was the
20 years ago.
opposition, did the opposition, I guess they did, what was it?
It was kind of split at the planning commission meeting. She had several within the neighborhood that spoke for her. Some of them were concerned because of the age of the mobile home. And there was others that would live next door to it that said that they didn't care. That was what she owned. And that was all that she could afford, living off of one salary, so.
Well, it's an acre lot, so it's not like,
It's not butted up against.
yeah. Well, I think we have to give the applicant the benefit of the doubt, but now, going forward, we might give some consideration to, especially in this instance, and these instances where it's an older home, that we demand that the applicant be present, so they can answer some of these questions.
And bring some pictures, as you say.
Yeah.
Be good to see.
We'll give that some thought, and next month in the business meeting, we'll discuss that, and if you would put that on the agenda, discussion of whether or not to require the applicant to be present for.
And we can request pictures and put them in the packet.
But rather than muddle the discussion of this specific case, I think, in my opinion, we need to give the applicant the benefit of the doubt and assume that it's going to be well taken care of, neat.
I'd make a positive motion in that direction, Mr. Chairman, or favor a positive motion.
Positive motion then?
Yep.
Okay, the positive motion would read, whereas Barbara Ann Warren has petitioned the Board of Zoning Appeals for a special use permit to allow for placement of a single-wide mobile home for her personal use, and whereas we find no substantial detriment to adjacent property, that the character of the zoning district will not be changed thereby, and that such use will be in harmony with the purpose and intent of the ordinance, I move the special use permit be granted.
So moved.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor signify by raising your hand. Thank you very much. To hear a motion, we adjourn.
So moved.